Hey, so you probably saw the update if you're interested in this channel at all. Previous video I had planned is kind of on ice for right now. It's just, I don't know, everything I worked on has become kind of outdated as time has gone on. It was a video about price-related stuff, and some things have changed that have made half the script just wrong now. Also, it's just too much work to fix, and I figured I'd rather just relax and just try to live comfortably because I'm kind of sick. And when I say sick, I mean like not like yeah, I'm cool as fuck. I mean, we all know this. I'm talking like I've been to the hospital like 5 times in just this year alone. So, I'd rather just be comfortable, I guess. I've been currently, at least as I'm recording this, off of most socials. Not really feeling that great physically, and it's like kind of made me not great upstairs either. And so what a better thing to do when you're not feeling so great upstairs than to play Gen 9 OU. It's kind of bad. But I think it's one of those things where as the player base evolves, I think it'll be better. Not something like Gen 5 OU, where it took so many bans after the generation had ended in order to make it good, but more so like Gen 6 OU, where people kind of like solved the meta more and more as it came out, because let's not pretend that, this game was good when it came out. Gen 6 OU was shat on a lot at the time, and for good reason. But nowadays, it's kind of looked back on as like a, wow, this was pretty fun. I think that's what's going to happen to Gen 9, where it'll become like a middle-of-the-road metagame instead of this nightmare that everyone seems to not like. I think just people just have to get to that point. But I will say, one of the big problems with Gen 9 OU is how black or white it is. That's not a pun. I mean, like, it literally is just either offense or defense. It's not even a rock, paper, scissors game. It's a coin flip game. You either get your offense up, or they get their offense up, and then one side dies. Even if you're playing defensively, it all boils down to who can play offensively first. And that's true even for stall teams. It's very odd and jarring. One of the best ways to play offense, in my opinion, not one of the most fun ways, but just one of the best ways, is to play a web's offense team. Not only does it shut down other offensive teams with sticky web up, but if you just send in the right lead, you can usually just win then and there. And that's precisely what this team I kinda stole but kinda didn't from a 1900s player does. I saw the team and I was like, hey, this is pretty cool, but you have no boot spawn and no removal, so I decided to just edit the team around, change some items, change some sets, and presto. Bada bing, bada boom. So I'll just go over everything in order of how I just put it in the team list. So first we have Rabambi. If you're playing webs, you're playing this guy. You could also play Araquanid, but I'm not cool enough to do that. I think Rabambi is more my speed. It sure has a lot of that. One of the cool things about Rabambi is that it has access to moves that just blow up a bunch of mons that get rid of hazards, and also gets rid of a lot of leads. So I can sticky web up, or I could stun spore something and make it slower than me and just chunk its HP with like a Moonblast or Psychic. Like Tusk can come in and threaten the spin on me, but if they're not max speed Tusk, and they didn't already have a rapid spin up before I came into the party, you're gonna die. Rabambi's quickly become one of my favorite Pokemon in general, just because it's just a little guy that just says, fuck you, and I think I like those. If you'd like to know what other mon says fuck you? This guy. Eldango is one of those mons that is like teetering on that seesaw of if they're broken or not. Like, holy shit. Like, back in DLC 1 era, this thing was clearly broken because it just shut down removal completely. Nowadays, that's not even what makes it broken. It's just broken because it's a steel ghost type that clicks a button that nukes your HP. It's good for being defensive rather than maintaining offense. It's absurd. I really like it because it helps maintain webs, but on top of that, it just also chunks mons like nothing. This mon shouldn't be winning against an earthquakeless Ting Lu, considering it's Ting Lu, but this mon just beats Ting Lu. And most Ting Lu do not play Earthquake anymore. They play either Ruination, Whirlwind, Protect Spikes, or they play like Throat Chop, I think? I don't know. Why does this mon beat Ting Lu? That's funny. Great Tusk from the team I kinda stole for this video was Booster Energy, Max HP, Max Defense with no spin. It was Bulk Up, Body Press, Earthquake, Ice Spinner. And I was like, there's a Kyurem right there. He don't like rocks. So I decided to go Boots Jolly Rapid Spin with Terra Poison. And yeah, no, this is just all reliable. You can fry up Great Tusk however you like, but personally, this shit Cajun is pretty good. So, one of my all-time favorite Pokemon ever in the history of mankind is Kyurem. I fucking love him. He was so dicks in his debut generation, and then he was, like, still pretty bad Gen 6, and then in Gen 7, it's like, forget about it. Don't even try. Then when he became good enough to use an OU, he was too good to use an OU, so they banned his ass. So I never really got to use Kyurem in, like, capacity where I could unironically use him and not feel bad about it. And even if I should feel bad about it using him in Gen 9, hashtag good guys won again, Kyurem is here to stay. This guy is completely fair, and I think a lot of people don't realize that even though he has loaded dice now to be a bootleg Baxcalibur, what makes him balanced still amidst everything that he still has is the fact that he doesn't have Roost. I think a lot of people underestimate how good Roost would be right now in Kyurem, especially with how fast-paced this metagame is. He doesn't have Roost, and that alone makes him not ban-worthy in my opinion. I think when people realize how fragile this guy is, he'll be fine. But like, he's the kind of fine where it's like, damn, you fine as fuck, because have you seen this guy put in that work? That's insane. I love this guy. So I've been on the record to historically say that this is a Spexmon, and I still kind of believe it. Every single time I load up this team, I wish I had Freeze Dry until I start sweeping, and then I go, oh shit, this is awesome. And then like I load up another game and I go, dang, I wish I had Freeze Dry, and I win anyways. But I still would have won if I had Freeze Dry. Does that make any sense? Specs Kyurem is still my crack, my slime, my absolute fucking oomphy, but Kyurem loaded dice isn't as bad as I thought it would be. I really thought it would be middling and just like a chipper rather than a sweeper, but I was wrong. This guy puts in some work, and I think D-Dance Speared Loaded Die Kyurem is kind of cool. But I still think Specs is like the schmoove. You could try Scarf in case you wanted to know what it's like to lose, but at that point I would just play Boots Kyurem if you're not gonna be using it to hit as hard as you can. Raging Bolt and King Gambit I'm just gonna go over at the same time, because essentially they're the exact same Pokemon. They do the same thing. Bulky slow switches into things that most other Pokemon can't, and then they click a priority button while they're boosted the fuck out of their mind. They're not natty. They're on that fucking trend, dog. Also, I have no idea why the team builder put 20 attack IVs that should just be a 0, but, you know, fuck it, we ball, I guess. Thanks, Showdown. There's not really much to this team, other than you send in your Pokemon that sweeps them immediately, because Rabombi being there is a mind game in of itself. Just having the Rabombi there makes the opponent go, oh, they're gonna lead with it because it's webs. And then they lead into like a mon that just dies to Kyurem or lets Kyurem set up a Dragon Dance. And holy shit, they let it happen almost every time. And then, of course, when you need the webs up, you can just lead the Rabombi and then click the button and then win. The entire way this team works is just getting the offense up ASAP, and the webs are really there to curb stomp other offense teams, but if they're not on HO, you don't really need to have the webs. You can just use Rabombi as a pivot / sack, or straight up just a nuke button for Great Tusk. This team just clicks buttons that makes the mons attack really, really hard, and then you punch really, really hard, and then you win. And the Tusk is there to spin. That's really what he's there to spin. And also make King Gambit want to kill itself. Because, holy shit, this mon is legal still, I guess. Cool. Gouging Fire gets suspected even though it has incredibly waning usage rates. Gambit being top 1 how many months in a row is just somehow not broken. Whatever lets me keep nicknaming my King Gambit Karakuri and then patting myself on the back. You just keep doing whatever you're doing. Just don't ban Kyurem. I really like this guy. So anyways, I'm gonna go back to dying and hoping that Shiftry gets another buff in Gen 10 so I can make like another Shiftry and OU video. Because like, dog, right now, there ain't no fucking way.